Yes, sir. It's the Real Truth Hot Mic Series. We
Yes,
live
sir.
from Charleston, South Carolina. The Columbia Record Pool annual event.
Yes, sir.
And this is the I Say podcast along with the Gym Complex. And we're sitting here today with a special guest. Introduce yourself to the people.
It's the one and only J. Reese, young God, young king. You know what it is.
J. Reese, young God, young king. So J. Reese, also, see that Gym Complex you wearing. Talk to the people about that.
You know, I'm A&R for the Gym Complex. I'm also a seasoned vet artist, you know.
Seasoned vet.
American Actor 2 coming out in July.
For sure. All right. So the A&R, talk to us about that. Like, what got you into doing that type?
So I've always been a music man since I was like a kid. I started out playing piano. I had an ear for music. So eventually that led me into learning music theory under Juilliard. Stayed there for like 2 semesters, and I figured that I really love people and I really love music, so I want to work with people and music. So I started listening for certain talents, certain things that artists could, you know, bring to the table, different introspectives, and started learning how to place them in the right place for their crafts. Ever since then, I've been loving it. Kind of got in with Universal Records, did an A&R for them for like a couple of months. Just kind of freelance ever since.
That's dope, man. So I know you mentioned the piano, and you mentioned the Juilliard School. So I'm not wrong in saying that the piano ain't the only instrument you play, right?
Piano's not the only instrument I play.
Talk to them about it.
So I play like around 15 different instruments, but mainly it's the piano, guitar. I play a little bit of drums, not really, but I can play sax, a little bit of viola, the dulcimer. You name it, I can play it.
Yeah.
Most likely.
That's dope, man. Self-taught or all at school or self-taught?
Self-taught with the guitar and anything else beyond that, but piano I went to school for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So talk to us about the artistry portion. Like, how long you been doing music?
I have been doing music since 9th grade, I think it is. So when I was in the 9th grade, I played for a little AAU team, a little football AAU team, and some of the guys on there rap. And I wanted to fit in with them so bad. Did a little corny rap, like, you know, because at the time I didn't know what rap was, so I did something corny. They laughed, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna prove myself. I'm gonna be better. And within trying to prove myself to them, I kind of found a knack for it. Like I was really good at writing poetry, and they kind of integrated very well. And I already knew music theory, so it kind of just clicked.
Yeah.
So kind of found my little place in rap, and you know, I do a little singing as well. So just any way to express myself is really what I do. So I don't like to think of myself as a rapper or a singer, more of just like an artist.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's why I was about to ask you, like, I was gonna break it down into 3. A musician, because you play instruments.
Yeah.
And then you got that you also rap.
I do rap.
And then you do singing. Like, which would you say is like your strongest suit, or is it all just a great combination?
Honestly, I don't think any of them are my strong suits, really, because like I always think I'm really good, and then I hear somebody that I think is a little better, and I want to beat them. So like I always try to better myself. All right, cool. I can be better in this. I can do better flows. I can do better stanzas. I can do better harmonies. I can do better notes. I can do better string play. I can do better music theory. You know what I mean? So I don't really think I'm the greatest I can be at any of them, but I think that I'm getting to the point where I can be satisfied in the work that I do. So to answer your question, none of them really.
Gotcha. So, music theory, that puts me in mind, like, okay, you know all the technicalities behind it and all of that.
Right.
So knowing that and then putting that to use the way that you are, what would you say as far as like how has that contributed to you being an even more polished, whether it's an artist or an A&R, having that in your back pocket?
At first, it was really hard to apply that to myself. It's easy to hear somebody else and know like, oh, okay, they missed this note, they need to rise or fall here and there. But it's really hard to kind of like hear your own voice and think, I need to tweak this, I need to tweak this, because people fall into those extreme mediums. Either you really love your voice or you really hate your voice. And you can learn either or. But over time, I finally understood, like, I can't look at it objectively as, oh, that's myself, I'm going to always be good. I had to look at it from an outside standpoint and think about it as, like, oh, this is a different artist. I need to listen for what they need, and then I kind of just apply it to myself, because really it's just me at the end of the day.
Right.
But being able to sit from the outside and look in is a gift that I gotta attribute to Yahweh, obviously, because I can't do it myself. I'm just a man. I can't really hear myself. So at the end of the day, it really does help become a better polished artist, especially when I release a project and then go back and listen and working on my next project. I'm like, all right, cool. I failed here. How can we make this better? How can we build and get stronger suits?
Yeah. Usually sometime what I ask people is, when did you fall in love with hip hop? But due to your background, Juilliard, A&R, musician, when did you know you were in love with music as a whole, not just hip hop?
I think that came when I was 6. My grandma used to play piano for to church, and hearing her play was probably the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Even though she wasn't like a pro, she wasn't like out here playing for like millions of people. It was more of just like somebody I loved and really cared about. It was, you know, giving me my soul back. So I told her at 6 years old I wanted to play piano, and she put me in classes, and I started to learn, and eventually I was like, I don't want to do this no more. And then she passed when I was 10, so it was a way to stay connected with her. And now my music is a way to stay connected, not only with her, but to myself and to the people that surround me. So
yeah,
I would say the age of 6 is when I fell in love with it.
That's a dope explanation, man. I know you mentioned, I forgot the title of the album, but I know it was a part 2.
Yeah, American Actor Part 2.
When is that coming?
July 17, 2022.
July 17, 2022. It's coming out, so be on the lookout for that. What song do you have right now that you would tell people, go get in tune with this to get you ready for when this drops? This is go give you a kind of that look into what type of artist I am.
There's an EP out called Love Me Not. That's out on all streaming platforms, Apple, Tidal, whatever you use, just go check it out. But I don't think it'll get them prepared for what's coming, because this is the first time I ever done like these experimental beats, these experimental flows on this album. So anything you hear from me previously is not an example of what's going to be on this album. It's going to be a whole different change from what I used to be into who I am now. Yeah. And that's just like the production side of me, just kind of wanting to learn and grow. And I don't want to keep it the same, but to really get you in the mood of it, there's a song that I released called Out the Way. I released it about a couple months ago. That has somewhat of a similar feel, because it's more hype, summary, kind of like. So that's what I would suggest. Go listen to Out the Way, streaming on Tidal, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you use, Google Play, any music streaming forms. So, yeah.
Definitely. So before we get out of here, where can the people follow you at?
You can follow me on Instagram at _JReese_, Facebook, J Reese, YouTube, J Reese, TikTok, _J Reese, Twitter, _J Reese, It's J Reese all day. That's it.
For sure, man. But listen, man, we appreciate you sitting down.
I appreciate you.
We get to be around this gentleman often, so we get to see his talents firsthand. But it was a privilege for you to be able to sit down so we could share your talents with the listeners, the world. So again, nothing but blessings. Keep going. Any way that we can support you, you know we will. The same way you support us, man. So keep up the good work. We out.